Hey everybody, how you doing?
Hello, everyone. Hope you've had a great week. Welcome back to our latest episode of Soaps and Sass, episode 15 for Beyond the Gate.
Yes.
Okay, so apparently we're feeling mellow today.
It's a very mellow day. It's gloomy out.
All right, well, hopefully we can bring some life into this podcast. The week ended kind of bleh,
Yeah.
but it was an interesting week. There were some things happening. Why don't you
fill in the peoples?
All right, let me give you a quick recap. Changing up the format a little bit and doing this theme-based as opposed to whatever we were doing before. So storylines this week. We had Kat's birthday party, which was very brief. That was on Monday. But it's a setup for some other things that will soon happen, I'm sure. Basically, Kat had her birthday party. She's super excited. Just before the birthday party, she met Tomas at Orphe Jeans. He gave her jewelry for her birthday. I thought that was a little bit bold, but anyway, it's a chain and it has a calculator pendant, which she kind of went, and he says, well, it's to symbolize, your new business and the profits you're going to make. And all of a sudden, she's super charmed by this. She's excited. At the party, only thing really of note is that Eva showed up by accident to pick up a coat she'd forgotten because apparently it is so warm in DC. So Eva's surprised to walk in on the party. She didn't know what's happening. Kat cusses her out because Kat walks up to hear Eva trashing Kat to Tomas. So Eva leaves in tears, runs into the office where she's crying. Ted finds her and hugs her to give her some comfort, which I don't think Eva really quite knew what to do with. Speaking of Ted, this week there's a little bit more on the Ted infidelity story. Ted apparently is regretting having told Andre. Andre had called to speak to Nicole, and Ted is clearly worried that Andre will spill the tea. But Andre simply has questions about the anniversary party. So he's asking the questions, and that leads Nicole to start talking about how their marriage was not all roses and tiptoeing through the tulips. She says that she pushed Ted away at one point, and Ted completely loses his temper and says that he's the one that let her down. Andre's kind of giving him this eye, and Ted kind of realizes, whoops. So afterwards, Andre's like, what's wrong with you? And he's like, I don't know, man. I just lost my temper. It's like, are you rethinking telling Nicole about your infidelity? And he's like, no, I will never. I'll take it to my grave. And Andre's like, well, you need to get a grip then. Like, figure your stuff out. With respect to the lawsuit, this is where Naomi was suing Bill's company because of Mike's sexual harassment of a number of women. Naomi has ultimately recused herself from the case. She's handing it off to one of her sorority sisters because she was really scared when she saw Bill have his episode a couple of weeks ago. So, as much as she's angry with her father, she realizes that she very much loves him, and this is not a good plan for her. She can't stand up to him in court when she's worried about his health. So she doesn't think that's going to be good for her clients, which is why she hands off the case. She also is second-guessing herself because she thinks this is going to have an impact on Danny, since she had originally said to Danny that she's doing this to stick it to Bill. And, she speaks to Jacob about it, and Jacob's like, you got to do what you got to do. Danny's a big girl. She'll figure it out. Cool, fine. So she has told her father that she's recused herself from the case. Mike got word of it. So Mike comes into Bill's office, and he is so excited. Naomi's off. So now we can pull out all the stops, come in guns blazing. These women will never know what hit them. And Bill's like, you need to stop. Let me just be clear with you. You're fired. And Mike is like, excuse you? And Bill's like, look, make no mistake. We don't need you here. Well, I'm the rainmaker, and I'm going to take my clients and go to other firms, and you think you're some big shot? And he's like, your clients are fine. They already know that you're going to be leaving us. So they're not going anywhere with you. You might think you're going to sue us because Mike starts making all these threats. And Bill's like, don't think I don't know that you've been harassing people all over town. We've heard from other firms.
Courthouse.
There's the clerks at the courthouse. They're all talking your name and how dirty you is. So good luck to you, buddy. Mike is like, yeah, you think you're so big, you think you're so bad. You Andre 2000 or Outkast, you act like your poop don't stink. Well, I mean, that's a very common expression, I suppose. And he's like, you walking around here like I'm the only one who's been inappropriate, where you married your inappropriateness. And Bill drapes Mike up. Mike got a lot of big talk, but his mouth wrote a check his behind could not cash, and he's just like, it's just joking, man, just joking. Or whatever he said. Right? And so Bill's like, check yourself.
Because you're very close to wrecking yourself.
Right? So
FAFO.
Mike takes off. That's the last we see of him for the week. The plaintiffs in the case, they decide they really don't want to deal with Naomi's sorority sister. She does not seem to believe in them the way that Naomi did. They want Naomi to finalize the settlement for them, and they want to modify the settlement that Bill offered. They're okay with just about everything, but they want input into the hiring practices. Naomi says, I don't think that's going to fly, but okay. That'll be my parting gift to you. I will try it. She meets with Bill, and Bill agrees. So it seems like that's the end of the court case. I'm not really sure. I guess we'll get more next week, but I'm disappointed. We can talk more about that if you like.
Yes.
Also this week, there was a little bit of a hint or a little bit of a storyline on Haley possibly being pregnant. She's not sure yet, but she does know she's a little bit late. She almost never misses taking her pills. Bill's like, what do you mean you almost never?
We will get into that later.
Right? Yes, we will.
I have words.
I have words too. He thought it was, their plan was they were going to get married. It's just going to be the two of them touring the world, pleasing each other, pleasuring each other, however you want to put it, being able to do whatever on a moment's notice without worrying about the kids. Haley's like, I'm not sure how I feel. And again, I don't know for sure. But you know what? How cool would it be if we had a boy? There would be a first for both of us. All of a sudden, Bill's like, wait, a son? Yo. Now he's super excited that he might be having a kid. And they decide to celebrate at the club, where Haley gets there before he does. And Haley's trying to, again, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me. Nobody can see Haley. She gets dusted again. I'm going to put a pin in that, come back in a minute. Danny is still spiraling out. Andre is pretty much sick of her nonsense. He tells her...
As he should be.
Yes, he should be. He tells her she's better than that. And he needs for her to find her fire, find the Danny Dupree that everybody was just like blinded by her light. And Danny tells him some things, kind of calls him a child, and he's like, make no mistake, I am a man, I am not a little boy. But in any case, so they sort of kiss and make up. Andre leaves. She calls Pamela. Pam comes over. Danny tells her, listen, I want my fire back. And I think Danny also had a similar conversation earlier in the week with her father, where her father told her the same thing. It's like, you're Danny Dupree, you could take on the world.
Yep, that was the Monday.
Did this little bit of foolishness, like, you are the best. I'm the best. You are the brightest. I am the brightest.
Better than the rest.
Right? It's okay. Isn't she 50 enough? 40 enough?
40 enough.
Cool. Anyway, so she tells Pam she wants her fire back. They brainstorm a little bit at the club. They go to the club to brainstorm, where they run into Haley. Pam says to Danny, what would the old Danny do? So Danny slinks her way over and has a conversation with Haley, and is basically telling Haley all the things that Danny wished she had been told when she was marrying Bill. It starts off as going kind of well, even though Haley's like, listen, your relationship was your relationship. It's not the same as my relationship with Bill. And Danny's like, okay, cool, fine, whatever. And then at one point, Haley loses her temper and says Danny hasn't changed one bit, which Danny is delighted because that reminds her she's got her fire back, or she's getting her fire back. Okay. Before Danny leaves, she looks to the waitstaff and she says, oh, Mrs. Hamilton is ready to place her order now. So they take Haley's order, and apparently that was all it took, because now everybody wanted, oh, do you need anything more? So Haley is no longer invisible. Bill shows up a little bit later. Danny and Pam are talking at their table. Bill actually humbles himself a little bit. He was not his arrogant, brash self. He walks over to Danny and basically tells her, thanks for looking out for Haley. I really appreciate it. And off he goes. Just as a side note, Danny has finally clued in that Bill actually is in love and loves Haley. So I think she's done with her madness.
Hopefully.
We'll see. A couple days later, Pamela pops by Danny's place and presents the idea of starting their own modeling agency. Excuse me, whether it's the Curtis Dupree or the Dupree Curtis agency. Danny's going to think about it, and we end the week with Naomi calling her mom for a girls' night out at Uptown to cheer up Anita. Talking about Anita's feeling down about her former days as a singer. She kind of misses the glory days. But in setting it up, Naomi had spun it to Anita as cheering up Danny.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure who's getting cheered up. Maybe it's both. Maybe it's neither.
I think it's both. I think that's an interesting way to do it. It's like
it is.
It's like you tell one it's for them, and then you tell the other it's for the other, and it's like either way, both get cheered up and know they're loved and appreciated.
There you go. In the teen storyline, as we know, Tyrell was being bullied because somebody took a picture of Tyrell in his underwear and sent it to Jessica, who was the jock's girlfriend, the biggest jock at the school, his girlfriend.
Well, now ex-girlfriend.
And so that started a whole bunch of bullying. So Martin completely ignored Tyrell's request to leave it alone and let him handle it. And Martin goes off to school, talks to the principal. Smitty is beside himself when he finds out. Tells Martin that he overstepped and Tyrell's not going to forgive them.
He'll be pissed when he finds out.
Right? When Tyrell comes home, Tyrell comes in hot, slamming doors. What did you do? Looking at Smitty like Smitty did something. Smitty's like, you looking the wrong side, sir.
I look at Smitty says, no. You're looking at the wrong one, son.
So he's like, the principal called an assembly to talk about bullying. And it's like, okay, so people get bullied. It's a generic assembly. Oh, please, Dad. Everybody knew she was talking about me. I told you to mind your business. And Martin's like, okay, first of all, stop looking at Smitty. Smitty had nothing to do with it, and he's already not happy with me. It was all me. And Tyrell's like, you know what? Stay out of my life. Martin basically tells Tyrell to get over himself. He's not the only person who has ever been bullied. Tyrell storms out of the house. And goes to Orphe Jean's, where he's sitting there, a little bit, what was me? When this lovely young thing sidles up to him and is like, wait, you're Tyrell, right? Hi, it's really nice to meet you. Do you mind if I sit down? Turns out this is the Jessica, the recipient of the picture. Jessica was very clear from jump that it was not Tyrell who sent the picture, knows Tyrell wouldn't do anything about that, and she couldn't have been lovelier. And
made it very clear she broke up with her boyfriend because he was being toxic, and she didn't want none of that.
None of that. And in fact, it seems like she might have a little interest in Tyrell. She's like, I admire you so much because it's got to be hard to be living through this situation. Mm-hmm. Kids are stupid. And you're just holding your head high. You're just walking about like, I'm just going to live my best life. Y'all can do whatever foolishness you want. It's nothing to do with me. Mm. So now Tyrell is super happy because I think she said, can we be friends? Maybe we'll talk again sometime. And Tyrell's like, yeah, I would like that. Off she goes. Tyrell's practically skipping home on a cloud. He's so happy.
He's like, I got game.
I don't know if he was all of that.
But okay. That's the vibe it gave off.
Yeah, you're right. That was the vibe. In the meantime, the dads have been talking and they're like, we could put him in another school. We could do this. We could do that. And Smitty's like, listen, Martin, slow your roll. These are all good ideas. We're going to present them to Tyrell. And Tyrell will decide what it is he wants to do.
Especially with the fact that the kid is like, what, 16, 17?
Right. So Martin's like, okay, fine. Except it seems like neither dad knows how to read a room because, like I said, Tyrell comes home. He's dancing on air. He's super happy. They did clock that his attitude changed, and he seemed in a much better mood. But before they ask him, why are you so happy or what's going on, they're like, okay, so listen, we came up with these options. You could change schools. You could this. You could that. And he's like, hell no. I don't want any of those. And they're shocked. Okay, so we'll see what happens maybe next week. I don't know if I mentioned chicken heads, but speaking of, we have Sam's modeling career. Sam shows up.
Chicken heads.
Sam shows up at Kat and Chelsea's, I guess, offices or wherever they are. Danny's place.
They're at Danny's studio.
And she comes running in. Kat's like, how you get here so fast? Because school just now let out. And she's like, oh, I quit school. The aunt and the cousin are like, you done lost your mind. Like, what? No, this is not okay. And the Kat's like, I'm just playing. I just skipped last period because of this assembly that they had for the bullying. And they're, again, that's not okay. Your fathers are not going to be for this. You're going to make things harder for yourself. Anyway, it turns out Kat has an idea to bring Martin around to allow Sam to do some modeling, and they decide they're going to start small with a couple of things, and it's going to be local so she can stay in school, what have you, and then they're going to have Sam be the face of the person line.
At least the teen part.
At least the teen part, and then they're going to expand. So that seems to be the plan there. We have, again, speaking of chicken heads, Dougie the super doctor. Dougie is booking surgeries left, right, and center, back to back to back to back. Don't even have time to sleep. Shanice tells Dougie, like, hey, what's with the schedule? Dougie tells her mind her business. A few hours later, while Doug is in surgery, Vanessa shows up. Shanice tells Vanessa, is there something going on with you and Doug? Like, is there a problem at home? And then tells Vanessa that she thinks he's overworking. Vanessa and Doug speak later when they have a break. Doug's like, what are you here for? We had dinner plans, Vanessa tells him. And he was like, oh, shoot. So then Vanessa starts questioning him, lets him know that Shanice dropped a word in her ear. But she's like, I'm afraid I'm losing you. And Doug's like, no, not at all. You know, she's like, what, you don't have somebody else? Or however she put it. And Doug is like, no, you're the only woman for me. Like, just stop it. So she seems reassured. They never do get to go to dinner anyways.
Nope.
Randy is trying to get Dougie back to the chips, back to the poker table. But Doug says no. He's given up gambling. He's not coming back. He's going to find a way to pay Joey back. And then later, you know, Doug was doing some foolishness with these teeny tiny stupid bets with the nurses. And he's like, oh, I'm on a lucky streak. And then proceeds to lose the next patient on the table. But apparently the patient was high risk, so it really was, it was a very real possibility that the patient would have died. Doug is upset. Ashley, who was watching the surgery, she's like, oh, it's not your fault. Doug loses his temper, smashes something, and breaks his hand. Bravo, sir. So, obviously, you can't have a surgeon in the operating room with a broken hand. Doug seems surprised that he can't perform surgeries, that he's been taken off the surgery rotation. I'm not sure what that's about, but okay. And then somehow Joey shows up at the hospital to see Doug and persuade him to come back to the tables. Whatever. Speaking of Joey, Vanessa's still very interested in Joey, although she says it's not a romantic thing, but she has feelings for him. And Joey said to Randy that he's basically trying to groom Vanessa so he can use her company to launder his money.
Yep. Okay,
good luck to you. And lastly, with Kat and Chelsea's business, just coming back to that, because Kat is the business mind in there and Chelsea's the creative. Kat is telling Chelsea they should Kat tells Chelsea that they should hire Danny as their chief media officer. Chelsea is really not for the idea because she's just broken free of her mother. She doesn't want to bring her mother in. She thinks her mother's going to take over. Kat is like, yeah, okay, but the difference is you'll be the boss of your mother, not the other way around. Chelsea's not convinced, but she's going to think about it. And I think that's basically the week as it was, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you want to talk about topics, or do we want to cover this by talking about our categories?
Let's go by category.
All right. So, I don't even want to start with this, but I'm going to. No, I'm going to. Comedy moment of the week.
What did I have down?
Oh, I'm not going to tell you. You may have a completely different one, but I have one, which is why. You know what?
I feel like your comedy moment was. No. I think that was the Kesaka moment. I don't remember what my comedy moment was.
Okay, we will come back to it because I think I want to leave it for last, just to end up on a high note, funny note, what have you. Okay, what had me hot? There was a few this week, but go ahead.
So this for me, it wasn't that it had me hot. It was more of like a mild medium hot. Mm-hmm. But it was the fact that Bill and Haley are in Bill's office talking, and when she tells him that she might be pregnant, mm-hmm. and he's like, "What do you mean? We're taking the necessary precautions." And she's like, "I know. I take my pill almost all the time." And he's like, "What do you mean almost?" And she's like, "Well, I might have missed one or two, but that was like due to the whole, wedding situation and yada yada yada." but it was the way he reacted. Like, okay, clearly you guys talked about it as based on what you said about, you know, you wanted to like decorate or christen every room in the house without having to worry about a child walking in on you. So one, I'm like, why is it whenever it comes to like having kids, it's always like, or in the sense not wanting to have kids, it's always on the woman to be mindful or do the needful to not have the kids. I'm like, okay, yes, I understand that, you know, we have, like, when it comes to contraception and preventative measures, it's really, like, we have more stuff geared towards women. But it's like, keep in mind, a woman can only get pregnant one time, and she's pregnant for a whole 9 to 10 months. Men can hop around the world and knock up 100 women in whatever span of time. So I'm like, okay, stop putting it all on the woman. Yes, she's taking birth control, but keep in mind, and also not all contraception is 100% effective.
Correct.
But it's like, if you don't want to have kids, do the necessary. I'm like, you are older than her.
Jimmy is wearing a hat. No glove, no love.
Right? I'm like, I'm like, if you think she's pregnant, clearly tells me you're not wrapping it up. And if you are wrapping it up, then them condoms be breaking holes or poked in it something, or they're expired, but something. But again, it's like, you sir are older than her. You have raised your kids. Your kids are now grown women. If you don't want any more kids, snip it. Because here's the thing. It's easier for you to get snipped and have your recovery time quick compared to her, who has to go have a full open surgery to snip and do whatever to her organs.
Yeah, it's not quite so open as it used to be.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like there's so much more work for her to get her tubes tied compared to you, where they like snip, and be done. Like, and if you decide you want kids, your surgery can be reversed. Hers can't. So, you know. I'm like, y'all always put it on the woman, and it always pisses me off, because it's like, it takes 2 to tango and 2 to make a baby.
Indeed it does.
So.
Indeed it does.
So I'm just saying. So that had me mild hot.
Alrighty. I'm looking at, I guess those are all kind of what had me hot. So I have a mild and I have a super spicy. Okay, so my mild to medium is when Pam came over, when after Danny called her and said, listen, Andre tells her to find her fire and leaves.
Yes.
Danny is upset. She makes a phone call. It turns out it's to Pam. Tells Pam to come over. No sooner than Pam walks in the door, Pam is, oh my goodness, Danny, you must be feeling so battered and so bruised. You need to pick me up. Like, things are so devastating. I don't know how you can hold your head up in this town after blah, 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 or whatever it is she says.
Something about the fashion show, too.
Right. And what made me mad, or what had me hot about that particular scene, is that Pam walked in and was telling Danny how she felt, rather than Danny telling Pam how she felt. It's like, you don't get to decide for me how I'm feeling about something. Because I've been in that situation where something happened in my life that was perceived to be negative. I did not at all perceive it as negative. It was something I was looking for, something I was hoping would happen, and it just didn't. And then I have people around me, oh, you must be so upset, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you don't know the story. Let me tell you how I'm feeling. Just because you might feel that way, or you assume the situation is such, don't come in and tell me how I'm feeling. And maybe I wasn't feeling that way, and because you've now told me how I'm supposed to be feeling, now I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess that was terrible. I guess I should be broken up. I'm not worth anything. Whatever it is you have just put on me. You don't get to speak that into my life. Let me tell you what my life is. And people are too fast to come in with their tongues on people, and I don't care for it.
That's exactly how I feel when people say, oh, I'm in love with this person. It's like, no, you shouldn't be in love with that person. It's like, you don't get to tell me how I feel about this person.
Exactly.
It's like, it's not a phase. It's not something I'm questioning. It's like, if I feel, if I'm like into this person or I like this person, that I know what I'm feeling.
Yeah, and it happened more than once this week. It wasn't just Pam and Danny. Somebody else did that again afterwards. And I don't remember it quite at the moment. It might have been something with Smitty, where Martin was telling somebody, or
I now remember the comedy moment. Never mind.
Or it might have been, I don't know, Shanice and Vanessa. I honestly can't remember who the other person was, but it happened twice this week. The other, what had me hot, and this one just had my whole head on fire, was when Tyrell was explaining to his fathers how he felt about being bullied, and the difficulty and how he was living it and what he was going through. And Martin looked him dead in his face and said, "You think you're the only one ever to be bullied?" And suddenly made it about Martin's experience when he was growing up.
Right.
And it was like, I'm sorry. Sure, it's a valid point. Tyrell is not the only person to be bullied, but you want your son to talk to you. Your son is telling you what he's experiencing, and you just kind of blow it off like, oh, you think you're the only person that ever happened to?
It's like trying growing up as a black man who's gay in a rich community, and yet it's like
it's not comparable. It's relatable, but it's not comparable.
No, I'm like, if it was the same situation, I'm like, if Tyrell was gay and, going through the same thing, then he could come to you and be like, hey, I'm going through this thing, any advice? But he literally is being bullied for something that's, as you said, not comparable. It's like someone took a picture of him in a vulnerable state and sent it to somebody and then got beat up for making it look like he sent it.
Right.
And now that's going around and he's getting picked on and whatever. You getting bullied because you're black and gay in a rich community is not the same thing.
Well, I mean, whatever the reason for the bullying, and this is where I'm going, whatever the reason for the bullying, it doesn't make one experience more significant than the other. If anything, it should be, I understand what it's like to be bullied. How are you living it? I'm sorry, I was trying to take, and you weren't trying to take the power away from him, but it's not, well, yeah, okay, so you were bullied, but really it's not a big deal. For him, it is a big deal. It's maybe the first time he's living through this. Like, don't diminish his experience.
Right.
That is how he lived it. Help him to minimize it, but you don't minimize it.
Right, and to tell him, because his way of handling it is he's just like, he ignores them. Mm-hmm. He's like, I don't pay attention to them. And Martin's like, no, pay attention to them. Call them out. It's like, no, because that's just going to make the situation worse. And Tyrell tells you, just like, stay out of it. Leave it alone. I'm handling it. And it's like, no, unless the kid comes home with a broken arm and a black eye,
well, this is it.
Then you can step in. But he's like, so far, the only thing that's happened is a lot of mean texts are going around. Sure, the photos getting distributed, which in this case would be, child porn. But it's like, his life isn't in danger.
No. And in fact, I think the situation was fine until Martin jumped in.
Agreed.
And you made it worse, and then you're going to tell him you're not the only person to ever be bullied? What kind of nonsense is that?
But also the fact that the principal had an assembly about it, and then he comes home and says, it's like, we had an assembly, and everyone knows it's basically about me. And he's like, you don't know that. It's like, I am the biggest news story going around school. What other assumption can I come to?
Right. So yeah, those are my two. What had me hot for this week? Martin is not impressing me any at all.
No, I just find him to be quite narcissistic.
Okay, do you have a make it make sense? Or who called for that?
No.
All right. What'd you do that for?
One, Samantha skipping school and telling her and telling the girls like, "Oh, I dropped out." It's like, why? You know they would not approve of that. And then two, I don't remember what the two was. Never mind.
Okay. How about a what the Delulu?
No.
Yeah, true. There wasn't really anybody particularly delusional this week. We didn't see Diego. Do you have anything for our new segment? And I apologize because we did miss a trick, and maybe you didn't notice, but since we're called Soaps and Sass, we should have had a category about sass. So do you have anything for Make It Sassy?
No.
It really was kind of a bland week, wasn't it? All right. So, Hero of the Week.
Hero of the Week, I'll give to Naomi for wanting to cheer up her grandma. Because she as she said in the episode, is like she's reminiscing about the days and it's clear that she misses it. Mm-hmm. But then also, you know, just the little playful trickery for like telling her grandma one thing but then telling her mom another, and basically just share them both up at the same time.
Okay. Hero of the Week, in a rare turn of since I started, in a rare turn of events, I'm going to give it to Bill Hamilton. Don't look at me like that. I'm giving it to Bill for humbling himself to go and thank Danny for making things a little easier for Haley.
Oh, actually, I do have the Lulu of the Week.
Well, let me finish my hero.
No, go ahead.
I will also give a hero of the week to Vernon for, once again,
his work with Danny,
propping up his daughter. Yeah, but just that whole daddy-daughter vibe of, you know, you're the best, you're the brightest. I give him a thumbs up on that. All right. What was it? A Delulu?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Mike is the Delulu of the week for thinking that he's the big man on campus and thinking that, you know, he'll be able to like.
Mike.
Like, just him trying to be like, you can't survive without me. So, yeah, it's like, no, they can.
Oh, my goodness.
And also him just like, how could you do this to me? We started this company together. I helped you build this company. And he's like, and Bill's like,
yeah, no. Another Bill hero moment.
It's like, excuse me. He's like, let me correct you on that. Vernon helped build this company. As much as I hate to admit it, Vernon did. You did nothing.
Right?
Basically.
Well. I helped you expand it.
It's like,
please.
Yeah, you helped me expand it, and now you're and now you're helping me put it in the ground. You are a liability. You need to go.
Okay. Did we talk about villain of the week? I don't think I got there yet. Okay. You have a villain of the week?
No. Oh, I do remember my second hero of the week, but no, I don't. I don't have a villain of the week.
My villain of the week, I think, maybe we should almost track these. This might be the third time he's made it there. I'm not even sure. It's going to be Martin. Martin is just so freaking off base. I don't even have words.
That makes sense. Briefly going back to my second hero of the week, I'm giving it to, and I'm shocked I'm saying this, I'm giving it to Dana/Leslie. Because, yeah, I know. And it's because of the she's doing it because on the Monday's episode when Eva got back upset and she had the little cake and she was giving the backstory. It's like, remember when this little boy broke up with you on Valentine's Day and we did this, and like just cheering her up, and then and then her little birthday rap. That's the only reason I'm giving it to her.
Sure, okay.
Because really, I'm like, it really was like a sweet, wholesome, like, you and your mom moment compared to the craziness we normally see this woman do.
That's my thing. She's too crazy.
So I know I said it was shocking, but yeah, she gets this one moment.
Okay. Well, you know, I put Bill as a hero, so why not Leslie?
Right.
All right. So coming back to the comedy moment of the week.
Hold on. Let's go to the Kesakaka, because you had this in the Kesakaka. You were asking me how this little girl walks in, and then
I wasn't even gonna bother. I have that to make it make sense, but the Kesakaka, I don't understand how Sam walked in and clocked that her aunt and cousin were doing a TikTok challenge, but I don't even want to talk about it.
Okay.
It just whatever.
Fair enough.
That's what you wanted to call it. Fine.
Fair enough.
Fill your boots.
We can go to the comedy moment because seriously, we were like, what the woody woo.
Actually, you had a smaller one before I go for that. The other one that you had was when after Bill draped Mike up on the wall. You said, "Well, good thing Mike remembered to pull the door rather than."
Yes. So in for context, so as Mike is doing his all bark no bite moment, talking to Bill about how he is the big man on campus and he got these clients, yada yada yada, and opened his big mouth too much and said what he said about Bill and Haley. Bill, as my mom said earlier, drapes up man and says, "You better stop before I beat you to the pulps," yada yada. And man's like, okay. And Bill's like, "Get out." And Mike, in his fear, grabs the door and opens it as he scurries away like the scared little mouse that he is.
Oh my God.
And I said, at least he remembered to pull and not push, because if I was in that situation, I would have pushed and not pulled.
That made me laugh. That would be funny.
Yeah.
All right, now, the real comedy moment of the week, and y'all need to stop with this because y'all are getting real stupid with it. I'm sorry to be so harsh.
Happened on Monday, happened on whatever other days, but it was just like...
Oh, my goodness.
I would say it happened Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Maybe
times.
Thursday.
3 times, I think. Can you be a little more subtle with your product placement, please?
Like, this is ridiculous.
Y'all have lost your mind. First, we got on Monday the Febreze at the party, and talk about Febreze to set the vibe. Here, Mom, spray this Febreze. And I was like, what?
Cat won't let me have this party unless it's been sprayed.
Oh my goodness. And then you got Tamara Tooney talk about Febreze, whatever scent it was. I never heard of this. I don't have this at home.
Spritz.
Like, come on, y'all. Really? But even more insulted, because that was bad.
Because I just realized, because I saw the can from yesterday when you did that, and I didn't catch what the smell was.
Oh, it's Infinity Mist was the one that we...
Damn, because I was going to say, if it was the same one, I'd be like, I guess Grandma's even watching the show and is taken by the product placement.
Oh my goodness. I saw that, I just about fell over. Anyway, so yes, your Febreze, stupid as it was, y'all got even more ridiculous later in the week. Ooh la la.
And here's the
baby, let me feed
stop,
you.
Stop.
That's how ridiculous
I know,
and disgusting
but
it was.
I'm just like, stop.
Jump in. What's it?
I was gonna say, I will say, at least they have. So far, the Febreze has only made it twice. Thank God. This one, they're not.
I don't even understand. Is our community buying a different product? Like, what, are we all gain users? Right? No, we have to promote the Tide with OxyClean, OxyBoost, whatever it is.
Like first sight of it,
it's not working on me because I'm just so mad. I'm not even looking at your stupid product.
First sight of it, Miss Naomi and her husband in bed eating ice cream over a pillow. First of all, why are you eating it over a white pillow?
You didn't have a tray. You didn't have a saucer. Like what?
Anyway,
shock and surprise, it spills in the bed.
Right, and Mr. Man is like, oh, let me get this into the washing machine so it don't stain. And Naomi's like, no. That's why I got the Tide. So just mentioning it was like, okay, fine, we're gonna mention it by name, but no, they have to take it a step further.
The camera pulls back from the bed,
not even subtly. It was very blatant. It's like, we're gonna do a wide shot, so reverse.
Right, pulls back from the bed, and then they've got Tide at the foot of the bed where they've just been having happy time?
Nah.
What?
Nah.
When you brought the ice cream, you picked up the Tide with you?
Nah.
It's not even in a basket, it doesn't look like. It's there in a comforter.
Right? And then, a couple scenes later, they're fixing up the bed. You
stopped and got up and went and did laundry immediately.
Right? And then you got Naomi putting the basket back on the bed, and there's the Tide once again in the basket.
Because after you do the laundry, let's bring the laundry soap out of the laundry room and put it in your bed.
Right.
What?
Then, whatever episode next it was, you got Smitty.
Spinny.
You got Smitty folding the laundry in the living room and the Tide right on the table. In fairness of this one, though, I can kind of understand why it'd be there.
Yeah, I can sort of see that because they live in a condo at a minimum or an apartment. Right. Then I don't see it being an apartment. But whatever.
And based off the fact, it's possible that
they may not have a laundry room in the place.
Right.
So he's got to go down to the
communal.
Community, right. So maybe he did that. He had to walk with the soap. How he didn't walk with his dryer sheets as well, I don't know, or his fabric softener, whatever. But no, it's just the Tide with OxyBoost on the table as he's folding laundry. S'il vous plaît.
Either way, y'all ain't subtle. Y'all ain't subtle.
You're doing too much. Your sponsors need to relax. Like, just put it in a commercial break.
Like,
for heaven's sake.
I'm like, it's one thing, and this kind of falls. Yeah, because y'all are putting this in obvious positions. It's not like you're having a scene and you just so happen to catch Tide in the background because they're like in the laundry room or something. Like, yeah, it's not. It's like right in my face.
About it.
It's like the Febreze could be sitting on the counter, and you know how Nicole came in that one episode and she's spraying it about. I didn't know it was Febreze. I knew it was an air freshener, and then she mentioned it later. It's like, oh, that's what you were spraying. Okay.
Right? You could have been like, oh, your husband come in, ooh, is that a new perfume? No, I was spraying Febreze. Okay, great, move on. Right? With the Tide, as we were saying, could have been that they got out of bed, they went to the kitchen. Okay, I know you got limited sets, fine, whatever. But could have gone to the kitchen, have your man in a white t-shirt, because that makes sense. You just come from Happy Time. You just threw on your undershirt, you're in there, you spill, oh shoot, I got some on my shirt. And you talk about the Tide that way. That would have made more sense than having it lying in your bed sheets.
Or kind of like what Ashley did in one of those episodes where she was actually doing laundry and pulled the Tide out of whatever place to go put it into the washing machine.
And she didn't talk about she have Tide?
No, she did not.
Picked it up.
Exactly.
I mean, what? Or, the girls are out at Orphe Jeans or Uptown and spill something in the shirt and it's like, oh, shoot. Oh, I have a Tide pen. Let me get that for you. Because people do that. But Tide in your bed? Stop the nonsense. I was going to say CBS. It is CBS.
It's CBS.
CBS, stop the nonsense.
I was going to say, in our case...
Anyways, that is all I have for this week. Do you have anything else?
No. And I just like to preface this. I know it sounded like we were very hot on this, which technically we were, but it really was just comedy.
But it was so ridiculous because we laughed so hard we couldn't breathe. No, stop it. Stop it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is it for this week. Episode 15, April 11th. No, I don't even know what it was.
April 14th to 18th.
14th to 18th, I beg your pardon, with Beyond the Gates.
Yes.
And so come back next week for a little more soaps.
And a hell of a lot of sass.
All right. Mama Sass signing off.
Bye.
Bye.